when word got out, opposition rolled in faster than a speeding locomotive.
Personally, I'd just like to see 803 saved. I'd like to see her preserved for future generations to love and enjoy.
So now there may be new hope for engine 803. That story coming down the track.
Beast of a machine, Railway Engine 803 sits by the ocean in Carbonear as a reminder of the province's railway history. But time has not been kind to the relic. Between the town and railway buffs, the question is, can it be saved? Here now Terry Roberts reports.
There's no other way to put it. CN Locomotive 803 is a mess. Years of neglect, constant ocean spray, possible lead paint, toxic, a noticeable list as the rails sink into the dirt, and metal shards that pose a safety hazard for those daring enough to climb on board.
From that down, it looks pretty good, right?
The price tag to restore 803, more than $100 grand, says the mayor. Too much for this small town. So the council passed a motion last month to send this piece of history to the scrapyard.
Mostly it's safety. Price tag certainly is something that is a factor. 6 figures. It'd be a hard sale for the residents of town Carbonear.
The Newfoundland Railway is loved by millions of people the world over.
This Carbonear native has trains in his veins, so he took action, starting an online petition to save the locomotive. Nearly 1,300 signatures and counting.
I'd just like to see 803 saved. I'd like to see her preserved for future generations to love and enjoy.
Built in the 50s, this diesel locomotive is the last of its kind in the province. Has been on static display in Carbonear since 1989. Served branch lines to Carbonear, Argentia, Bonavista, an unmistakable reminder of the town's link to the old railway. A history that's told in this nearby museum, a former train station.
There's a hope for it. There is.
The mayor says support to save the locomotive has been overwhelming, and that's forced town leaders to reconsider.
I think if funding was available, we would go back and look at the motion.
A big fix will take big money. 803 needs more than a lick of paint.
Either to remove the lane, you either have to tarp it in and do it, or take the structure to a building and remove it. So that's where the cost of doing that.
The mayor says the town will chip in, possibly $20,000.
I don't want it to go. No, it's a piece of our history.
And this railway buff is all aboard to lend a hand.
It's a sin to see her come to this, that she'd be scrapped.
This town will mark 75 years of incorporation next year. Now there's hope this piece of Newfoundland railroad history can be restored in time for those celebrations. Terry Roberts, CBC News, Carbonear.
Be losing a landmark. Council voted to remove locomotive 803. That's a relic from the days of NTV's Kyle Brookings reports.
After on of Carbonear for decades, locomotive 803 will soon be no more. To remove the train by a metal recycling company after exhausting all means to keep the train. Mayor Frank Butt says over the years the train has not been maintained, and its proximity to the ocean doesn't help.
You know, there was some upgrades, some painting done to it and that, but paint only goes so far. You really got to get in there, you got to maintain it. But it's so close to the salt water, and it's always exposed to the elements and that, so I mean, through this nature, it's just going to deteriorate. But if you don't maintain it, it certainly will deteriorate faster.
At this time, all resources to save the train have been exhausted.
Even though council has made a decision to made a motion to remove the locomotive, if we've exhausted all our resources, federal, provincial, and municipal, if there's something there if there's funding there that is available, our EDTO will certainly find it. So right now it's not gone. If someone wants to come along and say, okay, we'll help provide funding to do the work, we certainly would entertain that.
Daryl Steele says locomotive 803 has a lot of history behind it and has started a petition to save the train.
As far as I'm concerned, she's a landmark in Carbonear. She's got a lot of history behind her. She is the last G8 800 horsepower locomotive left in Newfoundland. And to have her destroyed or scrapped, as far as I'm concerned, is shocking and shameful to see it. Even hear about it happening. 803 should have been looked after a lot more than what she is. As far as I'm concerned, she was completely neglected over the years.
No date has been set yet for the removal of locomotive 803, but this train has run out of track. In Carbonear, Kyle Brookings, NTV News.